Good morning, and welcome back. Yes, it's a remote day at Pinkerton Academy, our first remote day. I do love remote days. Remote days are great because we don't have to make them up at the end of the year. If we have a snow day, they simply take that snow day and add it to the end of the school year calendar, which is no fun at all. No fun at all. Today, in Introduction to Engineering, we're going to start our Onshape program. So, as you can see right here, on your Google Classroom page, underneath the remote day schedule, there is a sign up for Onshape. I expect that you will do this today if you haven't already done so. Some people already have. So when you click on that button, you go right here and you can just start filling out that information. Boom, 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 email address. Please use your school email address. Please use your school email address. They are going to walk you through and step by step fill out the information. You do have to put in, what is your company name, and you just simply put Pinkerton Academy. That's fine. You do have to put in the Pinkerton Academy URL. So what I usually do is I'll just go back and hit, Pinkerton Academy. Once you type it in, the Pinkerton Academy, boom, and the URL is this thing. This is all they're looking for. So you just hit that, copy and paste it into your into the sign up registration document. So once you're in there, it's going to look like this. Now, mine looks a little different because I have so many files that I've been working on for years and years and years and years. You're going to have absolutely nothing when you hit this Onshape button right here. It's going to show you nothing. By the way, as it's setting up your account, it's going to walk you through and ask you what you want for your default units and all this stuff. Just hit next, 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 next. So you don't have to worry about any of that. It's all set up. The default is what it is, so you don't have to really worry about that. So once you're in here, like I am now, the first thing we're going to need is this PA template. Interesting enough, we've been using this PA template, our drawing file, for years, but it's not found anywhere but in public. Boom. Notice I come down on my parts tree over here and I just say public. Click. By the way, this is everything that any student has ever built and ever created, or any adults could be. And you can actually click on public and put it out there from students all over the world, whoever's using the program. So it's kind of interesting. But what you need to find is the PA template. Now, unfortunately, there's literally hundreds of them out here, but you're looking for the one that has the greatest number of copies. Now, here's one that has 95 copies. You don't want that one. You want the one that has lots and lots. As a matter of fact, they think it was up to 1,130 some odd copies yesterday. Oop. You see that one? It was 1,132 copies. That is the one you want. That's our PA template. So you can pick, I think there's two of them. It's up to you. Doesn't make any difference. I'm just going to pick the one on the top. Now, once you pick it, just double click on it. It's going to open it up. And here we are. Here's our PA template. This is a document that I created just for our students here at Pinkerton Academy. It's a regular A-size piece of paper, has a 1/2-inch border all the way around, and as you can see down here, it actually has this information that you need for your project. This is called our title block, and every company has their own title block. There's a couple things you can do, but right now this is actually still what we call inside in the public sector. That means you're all looking at the same one. To make a copy for yourself, you would just simply go up to the 3-bar menu, that's what I like to call it, and say copy to workspace, copy workspace. And by doing so, copy workspace, I'm going to put it into owned by me, right? Boom. And just say copy. I got this thing over here. I'm going to hide that. Boom. Copy here. Boom. Now, when that comes up, That's important because that's going to give you your own copy. As a matter of fact, I don't touch this. Is copy that we're going to use for every project that we go through. So you want to hold on to this copy, preserve it. Although, any point in time, if you have to, you can go back and get it from the public again. This is no longer public. It's into your folder right now. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to change you. Like if it's you, obviously you change your name. Maybe we'll update the date. So 12/02/25. Check. And I actually want you to change these things too. Click here. We're going to go block instead of size. I know the size of the paper. By the way, we always use capitals, no lowercase, all caps. So instead of saying size, we're going to say block. In this case, our block is W2 or W4, whatever your block is. Boom. R4, R1, whatever. Over here, Introduction to Engineering, that's fine. This is going to be the title of our drawing. It's not going to be color, obviously. If you want to put it in as Puzzle Cube, you're going to have to change it for each project, but you can just put in Puzzle Cube project. That's fine. Check. Now, a couple things. Notice what I'm doing. I'm rolling my mouse button forward. If I roll it forward, it zooms into wherever that cursor is. If I roll it back, it zooms out. So wherever the cursor is, like if I put that cursor over here or my arrow over here, it's going to zoom into that corner. Right? If I put it over on my name, it's going to zoom into my name. All I'm doing is rolling the button forward, Now, once we have this set up, like so, this is our template. We need to do the next step. And the next step is to make another copy. Make a copy to my workspace. In this case, I'm going to copy and I'm going to say, this is actually going to be my Puzzle Cube project. I like to put my initials after it. Just put your initials on it to keep hold on to it. I'm going to say owned by me, and I'm just going to put it right into my folder. Copy here. Now you'll notice the only difference is we've taken our PA template and now we have our Puzzle Cube project. If I go back and hit the home button, which is this Onshape button, you will find two files. If I went owned by me, two files. The first one's going to be PA template copy, and the second one is going to be my Puzzle Cube project, because that's all you have. If I click on Puzzle Cube project, it's going to come right back up again. Now, if you got to this stage today, you're doing very well. You've started your account. You found your PA template from the public sector. You've copied it into your workspace, and you've actually started your Puzzle Cube project. When we do our Puzzle Cube project, and I'm just going to open up a Puzzle Cube project for you, the Puzzle Cube project is going to take on a lot of different things. So I'm just going to go back here quickly, and I'm just going to say, okay, here's our Puzzle Cube project. Just give it a second. Sometimes the nice thing, this is cloud-based, which as long as your internet connection's okay, you should be able to come up with a copy of it pretty fast. But obviously mine is a little slow this morning. Come on. There's actually a lot of drawings. This is my drawing file. I built all my parts here. Everything's right here. So here's my purple part. Here's my yellow part. Here's my green part. Here's my orange part. And then finally my red part. So I built all my 5 parts. I put them together in an assembly file. So I've got them all assembled. I even did what they call an exploded view. And we'll talk about what that does and how it works. And then finally on our PA template, which I changed the name of it. I changed the tab name to Puzzle Cube Project. But on our PA template, that's what we just started. Having a hard time loading that. We're going to put all those files onto our cover sheet and then our multi-views and all that other stuff. I wish it would load. Interesting. Well, I'm not going to wait for it because I want you to get started on your own project. So I'm going to go to Owned by Me, where I was. Here's the one we just started. Should load pretty easily because it's just one file. There's your PA template. So when you're getting started, you're looking at your drawing. Remember, your puzzle cube sign sheet should be signed, right there, sign. And you're going to look at one of the parts and just build it. So we're going to build the parts. Now, the other thing you do is look at your actual physical prototype if you have it. Some people can just remember what it looks like, so it's not a big deal. How do you build a part? You start by hitting plus, create part studio. Create part studio. Boom. Now we have our part. Now, each and every one of these CAD programs, doesn't matter whether it's 2D or 3D, work on the same principles. The Cartesian coordinate system. X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z. That's why we get 3D, 3 dimensions, X, Y, and Z. When you start a part, you've got to start with a sketch. This is what it is. And you have to decide where do you want to start your sketch. And you get a choice. You can start it on the front, you can start it on the right side, or you can start it on the top. Ironically, those are the same views that we use for our multi-views, right? Front, right side, top. So when I start a sketch, I just simply go sketch on front, or I pick front. I can actually pick the word front. So you'll see that sketch 1 comes right here. Boom. So I got sketch 1 on my front. As long as this green check right here is open, you're still in your sketch. And the toolbar changes to my sketch toolbar where I can do lines, rectangles, circles, arcs, polygons, all that kind of stuff. Now, my pet peeve, and I was talking to the other class yesterday about this, I don't like that they leave these planes on. I don't need them anymore. So I'm just going to turn off they're still there. I'm just turning off so I don't have to look at them. I don't want to see them, right? So I don't want to see them, so I'll just turn them off. You can turn them on just as easily. Boom, boom, boom. So I turn them on, turn them off. How do I manipulate myself around? If I want to look at the front, I go to my view cube and I click on the front. If I want to look at the other sides, I usually use the corners myself. Watch, you can just kind of flip it around, which is kind of fun. If I want to look at the top, I hit top, and there's the top. If I want to hit the right side, there's my right side. Right? So you can kind of manipulate around. In the end, a lot of times I'll just hit this little cube right here and say isometric. It gives me an isometric view. Isometric view and this corner view is very similar, but not exactly the same. The other thing you can do is if you hold your right button down on your mouse, it's free rotate. That means I can move it any way that I want to in any direction that I want to, which is actually pretty handy later on. That's called free rotate. I'll just go back and say isometric. Boom. I'm going to go back to my front because my sketch is on my front. See, it's on the front plane. By the way, at any point in time, you can go, well, I didn't want it on the front plane. I want it on the top plane. You can click on the top. But right now, I actually do want it on the front plane. So I'm going to go back and click on front. And I'm going to turn off the visibility. You got to leave the origin on. Now, the origin, of course, is the center of the universe. 0, 0, 0. Do you have to build on your origin? The answer is no, but chances are you want to be close to the origin. So, for instance, if I'm just starting out with a cube, I'll go boom. Typically, I start on my origin and go like that. All I did, basically, is I went to my sketch toolbar. I went to rectangle. I picked right on my origin. And then I moved my cursor out and I picked another point. Notice how much time I spent worried about how big it is. You don't define how big it is here. You will use this dimension right here. These are actually numeric constraints, but we're going to dimension it. So I go like this. Notice I just pick that line, and then I pick somewhere above it. Doesn't matter. And as soon as I hit the second time, when I say pick, I mean the left mouse button. It tells me that what the dimension is. Now I'm going to change it to 0.75. Boom. There it is. Now I'm going to do, that's the width. Now I'm going to do the height, 0.75. Enter. So that square is 0.75 by 0.75. That's one cube that we built. That's it. Once you've done that, technically we can extrude that because that's a complete profile. It's grayed out, so we can extrude it. So if I go to finish my sketch, which is just simply saying we're going to hit this green check, that means I'm done with my sketch, which is still right here. Doesn't go anywhere. It's still in my parts tree. I can go to extrude. When you go to extrude, you just simply pick what you want to extrude. Now, the problem is I'm looking at it straight on, so I kind of want to go over here and just hit the corner. Oh, now I see what I'm doing. I'm extruding the Z. You can go forward or you can go back. I like to go back just as force of habit. And here's your depth. If we're making a perfect cube, it's 0.75. So I just change the depth to 0.75 and check. And I have my cube. By the way, I'm panning that. That means I'm holding that roller button down. I'm holding the roller button straight down. If you hold it down and move your mouse, you can pan it. If I roll it forward, it moves in. If I roll it back, it moves out. If I want to zoom all, I hit the roller button in the middle twice quickly. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's not working. 1, 2. Yeah, hold on. There it goes. There's the zoom all. By the way, at any point in time, you can still kind of roll it around and see what it looks like, right? I could look at it from the front, all right? All the sides are going to look the same. Now, what I like to do right now, I've only got one cube of my part, and the part that I'm building is just one cube, and then I can see that there's, if I'm doing this green part right here, so that part right there, green part. So that's one cube on the end. I'm going to add the other cubes to it now. Now, a couple things I like to do is I'll go over here where it says part 1. This is the name of the part. And so I like to rename it. I just right-clicked on that. I'm just going to rename it. I'm going to call it green part. All caps. Green part. Done. While I do that, I like to do this down here on my tab. I'll say rename this to green part. It's just keeping yourself organized, really. And then finally, because I like to play around with colors, we're going to go to right-click and say edit the appearance. And I'm going to pick a green. There's all sorts of different greens. As a matter of fact, you can even mix up your own green if you want to. I usually stick with the colors here. Boom. There. I got one cube. When I'm ready to do more cubes, I have to add a new sketch. By the way, at any point in time, I can go back to here, change these measurements, right? Or I can go back to my extrusion and change these measurements. It's completely adaptable. It'll parametrically make it bigger or smaller as we go. No big deal. So now I have to put a sketch. Now, I'm not going to go back and pick my front plane, top plane. I'm going to pick where I want my sketch to be. I can put it on any flat surface. And just for our purposes, I'm going to pick the front of my cube. I can tell it's the front because I see the view. Front. Now notice it's going to be sketch 2, because it's with second sketch, on this face right here. I'm going to look at it from the front. Now my part has 4 more cubes. I'm going to pick right on this corner, and I'm going to make it, it's actually 4 by 4. So I just made a rectangle, made sure it touched that corner there, and I'm going to dimension that to, if there's 2 cubes, 1.5 and 1.5. Doesn't matter what you put the dimension on the top or the bottom, the left or the right side. Once the blue lines turn to black, then you know that it is a complete profile and you can extrude it. So I'm going to finish my sketch. This is what it looks like. I'm going to go to that extrude button, which is right next to sketch. I have to pick my profile. It's going the wrong direction. Good, I can shift it this way. Watch, click, going back the other way. We know it's going to be the same thickness, 0.75. Check. That looks good. The only thing I would remember is don't say new, because if you say new, we're going to get two parts. Say add to the original one. Once I say add, it's going to make it all one block, and that's actually the first green part for my project. Now, let's just say, for instance, there's a cube right here on the back, right? Mine doesn't have that, but if you need to build one, really simple to do. You just say, I want to sketch where the cube is. Let's see, the sketch is going to go on the back. And then I would just simply, as we've done before, draw a rectangle. I could look at it from the back if I choose to. And add the dimension constraints, 0.75. You notice that these actually disappear when I extrude them because they're really numeric constraints. They're not like dimensions on your drawing files. 0.75 by 0.75. Just make sure you touch that corner. And now, if I look at it this way, I go to extrude. Notice I finished my sketch. Pick that. Now, what's cool is we're doing an additive method, meaning we're adding to it. So I'm just going to say 0.75. And it will, if I say add, it's going to actually add it to it. You could also do this. You could say remove. And notice what happens if you said remove. It actually goes back and cuts out that corner. It's going to remove that part. Interesting. We actually wanted to add it to it. We'll just hit check, and now we have all one piece. So if I look at the front of it here, it looks like just a regular flat piece, but I have this little cube on the back. Now, mine actually does not have that cube, but I wanted to show you how to add that. So I'm going to go back, and I'm just going to say, I don't really want that cube on the back. I'm going to delete it. Boom. And then I don't need the sketch either. I'm going to delete that. And I'm back to where I was. Now, when you finish part one, you simply come over here, hit plus, create a new part studio, and start on the next part. And continue to do that till your parts are built. Ideally, I'd like 2 parts built today, but do the best you can. Do the best you can. I hope this helps. Thanks for listening.